We're back. Episode 3. Are we ready? Let's learn another technique for using up your junk mail envelopes. Working my way through my first stack. So this is a technique I saw on House of Mahalo, Mahalo. Again, her channel will be tagged in the description. But let's get started. So this envelope is already cut open. It's not that big of a deal. We can work with it. So first thing you're going to want to do is cut your envelope to whatever size you want. I'm going to do this to, you know what? Never mind. I need a single. So we're going to switch envelopes. This one is also cut open. We need a single window. We need lots of space here. I'm going to cut this off at 6 inches. Now if this envelope was completely sealed, this would be sealed here and here, and you could use this as a pocket. But regardless, don't throw this away, because even if it's open, you can use it for stuff. Or you can glue it closed, even. That's all I need the paper trimmer for. So I'm going to lock it and put it away. Okay, so what we're making is a little journal pocket here. This is going to fold over and you're going to have a tuck spot. Very simple little project. And rather than collaging, they use a tear technique, which I think is pretty cool. So you're going to fold this over and you can decide if you want it to go, just to the edge of your window or over it. I'm going to go over, which is a little tricky to get it bending, because again, you've got this that you're dealing with on the back where the envelope was sealed. So I'm going to give that just a really good burnish. Okay. Now, because this envelope is open on all sides, you've got a few different approaches, because remember, this is going to be closed in, so you'll have a card that'll slide in here. You have to decide one of 3 ways of doing this. You could close this pocket by running a bead of glue here and a bead of glue here, and you'll lose some of that real estate because your glue is going to expand a little bit. So your pocket, rather than it going all the way to the edges, is going to be a little bit smaller because of that glue line. Or you can create gussets, which is what I'm going to do. And those gussets can be done in one of two ways. So let's start here by getting this trimmed down. Couldn't see where the edge of the envelope was. These don't have to be perfect. This is the page I want on the inside, so I got to be careful about that. So this I'm going to cut in half. Okay, maybe I should use something that's going to make me tear it straight. Okay, then fold your strips in half again. So there's 1, and here's 2. Now you've got 2 options here. You can either glue your gusset like this. You can do this with washi tape, you can do it with paper, and that'll seal that end up. Or you can hide these by gluing them on the inside, which is what I'm going to do. But I also want to need to cover the inside of this. So I'm just going to do one side. Put the folded edge toward the top. Make sure you're not going over that fold right here. We're going to glue that down. Guess I only needed one. Yay! Okay, we're going to put some glue over on this side. So this is like when you have gusset pockets and it's got this little flap out here that you can go in, and it saves that real estate in your pocket. Okay, so I'm going to miter these corners while we're here. So we're just cutting these in, and that's so it doesn't show when you glue your pocket closed. So again, trimming those corners in. Okay, so I have two different papers here, and now that I have them here, I have to decide. Do I want this to be the inside of my pocket that you'll see when you pull your tag out, and this to be the tear around, or the other way around? I think I'm going to put the writing on the inside. This doesn't have to cover this whole thing because you're not going to see it. If you want, since this edge is going to be open, so I'm going to change this out. You can wrap it around to the back so that that edge is covered, which is what I'm going to do here. So pull that off, and then I'm going to put this in here. Go this way. I don't know which direction these words are supposed to go in, but that way I can have some room. If I did it this way, I would have blank space. Oh, I guess that doesn't really matter, does it? And honestly, it doesn't matter either way because I don't know which way is up. So I'm going to glue this in. And I'm going to glue it so that there is room to come to the back. So make sure it's in between these folds. Make sure your image is inside your window. And then for me, you're going to fold this to the back. And what that does is when you lift this up, put your tag in there, you have a nice clean piece there. You're not, you know. Okay. And we're going to cover this piece. And what she did was a tearing technique, which I thought was pretty cool. So again, I'm going to give it some space to wrap to the back. Oh, that was a horrible tear job. Okay, and what you're going to do is You're going to tear this so that it fits the window. Okay, then turn it this way. Okay, like so. Glue it down. You can ink if you want. I'm not inking. And remember, the direction that you tear your paper in will determine whether or not you have this white edge showing here or not, like that. I tend to do a little mixture of both, primarily because I forget to go one way or the other. We're just gluing this in over that little window. And I'm going to open this up and I'm going to fold this in. And that's going to also strengthen that edge there. And I did tear it or cut it a little short, so I'm going to actually just put this along the bottom there. Just to give it some, just to cover it. Okay. Now you want to close your little pocket here. We're going to glue the top. Yes. But we're going to glue the flaps. Fold that in. Fold that in. Glue this flat down onto those flaps. Trim this. My overhang from my patch job there. So what this does is, rather than your glue being all the way out to the edge and then seeping in and cutting off some real estate on your front and back, it creates this little space where once the glue is dried, it gives you the full spectrum of your pocket. Now, if it's going to be a standalone, like you're going to be able to take it out and move it around within a journal, you do want to cover the back as well. If not, just do this. If you're going to glue it straight to the page, you don't need to cover and decorate the back. Because this could slide into a pocket. It could clip to the side of a page. So, you know, for my purposes today, I am not going to worry about it because it's not going to be, I'm gluing it into the book. I'm not clipping it in. So this piece is long enough. And I just want to decorate this outer edge here. This little pocket. Let's see, what do I have that, how about this? It'd be kind of fun to put the gray on there. Da-da-da-da-da. Trim this out here, and all I'm doing here is just so I know where that envelope ends. Like this. And again, If this was single layer, I would go a little wider so I could wrap it in and help strengthen that edge. But since this is a double layer, I'm not worried about that. You could go longer so you could wrap to the back. That would be an option as well. This is longer than I need, so I'll probably end up with glue where I don't want it. So I'm just going to glue that on there. Sliding it because it was a little shorter there than I meant for it to be. It's almost time to go start my grill. These I'm going to throw away because they have glue on them and I will get stuck somewhere. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, if this was only a single layer envelope, I would wrap it around the back to strengthen this edge. I could have also left it longer so I could wrap it around the back like I did this side and give it a cleaner edge. And again, if this is just going to go into a pocket or clipped in, make sure you collage your back. I'm kind of more or less just decorating with whatever's on my desk. Trim this off. And then you're going to glue it the same way. You're going to glue this little edge here. And this little edge here. You got to remember this is open on this end because we had it open before. But stick a little glue down in that little there. It'll glue it closed. It won't glue your pocket closed. But it'll hold it flat so that it doesn't gap open there. We sealed this end of the back with that little gusset, but this, you know, for this flap it was still open. Okay. So now you have a place to put a journaling card or a tag right here. See, and that covers your image up, so whatever you put on your tag here, you're going to want to be able to see through the window. And then you have this spot here for something else. So when you pull this out, pull this front one out, you'll see your image. You pull the back one out, and you'll see whatever you covered it with. Now this can be bigger, smaller, like you see how this one is sticking out. When I put it all the way in, it sticks out. You could do it that way. You could cut it flush. Choice is yours. I'm going to put those in there like that. And let's put it in the book. And again, how you do this is up to you. Like I said, you can decorate your back and then do it as a clip-in and just, you know, go like so. Boop. You know, clip it into your journal. And then you can take this out and move it around, write on it, stick it back in. You could put it in a pocket. Like so. So then you have a pocket, and then remember this one's two pockets. This may end up living there depending on Again, space. I have a playlist that's got 10 different ways to use envelopes. So I'm going to go ahead and let this live here. So that way I free up another page. So again, that is by House of Mahalo. Mahalo maybe? It's Mahalo. So check her channel out. I will have it listed in the title of this video. Episode 3 of using up your junk mail envelopes. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace out.